What is up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Flippin Bats. Today, I am so pumped to welcome on the number one prospect in baseball for the Baltimore Orioles, Jackson Holliday. Jackson Holliday is 19 years old and has shot up through the minor leagues this year. A-ball through AAA. He's currently in AAA for the Norfolk Tides, and he has just raked at every single level he's been at, and a lot of hype around this guy. He's going to be very, very good for a very long time, and I'm excited to watch him in the big leagues, and I've been excited to watch him this year in the minor leagues. But we're going to talk all about that journey so far and the transition from high school and to pro ball and now to AAA. There was also a story that went pretty viral a couple weeks ago when he got called up to AAA, and they wouldn't give him a hotel room because he was too young. So asking him how all that came about, and asking him about his father, Matt Holliday, and some Matt Holliday trivia, seeing how much he knows there. All about this Orioles team and the Orioles organization. This is a really, really fun conversation. I'm pumped for everybody to listen to it. He's an awesome human being, great baseball player. So let's welcome him in now. Without further ado, number one prospect in baseball, Jackson Holliday.
Fly ball onto the track, at the wall, it's gone! Home run!
Turns on a ball, deep right field, and gone!
What a game, what a moment.
All right, I'm pumped to welcome him in now, the number one prospect in baseball for the Baltimore Orioles, Jackson Holliday. Jackson, first off, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I want to go back to just over a year ago, the draft last year in June. You went first overall. And there were a lot of comparisons to you and Drew Jones, who's the son of Andrew Jones, the Atlanta Braves great. And he ended up going number two. You went number one. At what point did you know that you were going to be the number one pick? Were you tipped off ahead of time, or was it like in that moment you figured it out?
It was actually not really until that moment, which was kind of crazy to think about. I'd heard that you'll know like the day before or leading up to it, but I had no idea. So my dad got the call from my agent Scott, and just right before, and he didn't really tell me. And that was the moment that I found out was the same moment that everyone else did. So it was really really cool to be able to share that with my family, and it's crazy what's happened in a year.
What was draft day like for you? Was it take me through draft day? Your family's there, everybody's there with you. Take me through your draft day experience.
It was pretty crazy. The day before, actually, we were in St. Louis for I think it was for like Family Christian Day and in the Cardinal Stadium. So it was a crazy turnaround. We flew home, and that day was the draft. So a lot happened, but it was a lot of fun to have a lot of people over at the house, and yeah, it was a crazy day.
You were originally committed to Oklahoma State, where your uncle is the coach there. How did he handle the news that you officially weren't coming there?
I think pretty well. He was pretty proud. They're at the house. They live about uh, like 500 yards from us, so it's a really close community in Stillwater. My grandparents are right down the road as well, so he was pretty excited. But yeah, I wish I could have gone there, but
Yeah.
I'm very glad that I'm here now.
Yeah, I think you made the right choice. I mentioned the similarities with you and Drew Jones. Obviously, his dad being Andrew Jones, longtime great for the Braves. Your dad being Matt Holliday, as you mentioned there, and got the call and was able to tell you and be there with you. How do you think your dad has helped you in your career get to the point where you are right now?
Yeah, growing up in the clubhouse was really neat. I was around for pretty much his whole career, which is kind of cool to think about. His last year, I was 13 years old, so pretty much the whole time I was able to be with him. And me and my brother grew up in the clubhouse and going to the field early every day, and shagging BP, and being able to go to a bunch of really awesome stadiums, and be around guys like Nolan Arenado, and
Yeah.
being able to see what he does off on the field was really neat for me. And I got to spend some time with Cody Bellinger last offseason, hit with him a little bit, and he's having an awesome year this year, which is really cool to see. Just being able to talk to him and see how much he loves baseball. That's all he wanted to talk about was baseball, and that was cool for me to see. And it's definitely helped me with this year. Being able to handle myself on and off the field and in the clubhouse has made it really easy for me just being able to grow up in the clubhouse.
Do you have a favorite moment from your dad's career?
Um, I really enjoyed all the All-Star games. That was probably my favorite, just being able to be around all the best players in the league and be able to go out there and shag BP and spend time with them and
You out there on the home run derby, you down there on the field?
I was on the field. Oh yeah,
That's so
on the
cool.
field with the home run derby and wishing I was out there shagging, but we weren't allowed to. But yeah, being on the sideline, watching him. I think he did maybe two or three of them. So it was really, really fun.
All right, some final questions about your dad first. We're going to call this Asking Jackson Holliday About Matt Holliday.
Sounds good.
How many career home runs did your dad have?
Okay. Is it 317?
It's 316.
316? That's pretty
316.
good. I'll take that.
What was his career batting average?
Oh, 299.
That's tough,
Yeah.
man.
I
You're
was
just
just
one
telling
knock
someone
away.
about that. Yeah.
He was drafted in what round in 1998?
Fifth?
Seventh.
Seventh? Wow, gave him
Seventh.
some credit.
All right, this is a tough one. Your last one. Your dad wore 4 different numbers in the big leagues. Can you name them all?
I think so. 5, 15, 7, and 17.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Nailed it. If you weren't able to answer your dad, if he's not the answer here, who was your favorite player growing up?
Um, it kind of changed. Like Tulo kind of growing up whenever he was with the Cardinals. I mean, with the Rockies, sorry. And then Nolan Arenado. And then I like Trey Turner a lot right now. Now that I'm in pro ball, it's kind of someone that I want to play like. Kind of impacts the game in lots of different ways.
You have the wheels
That's
like
something
Trey
that
Turner?
trying to get stronger and faster, but hopefully one day. Hopefully one day. But I really just enjoy watching players and taking bits and pieces of lots of guys' different games.
You've shot up through the minor leagues since you've gotten drafted, and you're in AAA now in Norfolk, which sweet spot in my heart. Went to Old Dominion, so shout out Norfolk, Virginia. But now you're right on the cusp of the big leagues. What would you say personally, if you're thinking about yourself and how quickly your journey has gotten to where it is? What is something that you would say needs to improve in your game? If you're looking internally, what would you say is the thing that needs to improve the most?
Yeah, I'm someone who likes to improve every bit of my game at a time is what I try to do. But yeah, I definitely need to get stronger. Playing against a lot of these guys now that are a whole lot older than me and all have big league time. It's kind of crazy. I always look up on the scoreboard and they have like when they debuted and when they were born. It's the kind of the two things that I look at. And so I definitely think I need to get stronger to be able to impact the game and in different ways. I feel like whenever I do get stronger, I get faster and everything kind of ticks up a bit. So I'm looking forward to this off season to be able to go home and train and come back for spring training next year and hopefully weigh a little bit more and run a little bit faster and hit the ball a little bit harder and farther. So I think that's the main thing. Obviously, I want to be a really good defender, and that's another thing that I need to work on as well.
You've hit at every level you've been at. Start of the year at A ball, then high A, double A, triple A now. Have the Orioles, were they communicative with you as you were moving so quickly of, hey, you're not going to be in the big leagues this year, or you are, just one way or another communicating with you to put your mind at ease and just let you know to go out and play?
Um, Honestly, not really. I mean, a little bit like here and there, like, hey, you need to start training for double A whenever I was in high A. And I was like, okay, what do I need to do? And so they're like, here's what some of the guys were exposed to a little bit in double A, and here's how we're gonna try to prevent that. So a little bit, I was honestly surprised when I got called up to triple A. I was very excited, but I was also a little surprised. So just stuff like that. But they've done a great job of helping me succeed and guys that have similar swings to me. like Cowser and Heston and what they struggled at a little bit to help me kind of get away from that. And different levels, they learn to develop different pitches. So just being able to adjust to that a little quicker has been very helpful.
Just and I, as a guy that was a lifelonger in high A, that's where I maxed out. And you're talking about the jump here, getting ready to go up to double A. What what were the organization's tips on what you need to work on before you make the jump up to double A?
Yeah, I don't struggle, but changeups are kind of the thing that gets me every now and then. I'll chase them a little bit and get myself out. So really hammering like different speeds and BP and in darts has something that they emphasized, and just 2 speed or 3 speed like BP and darts was helpful to be able to just adjust changeups and stuff like that. But now that I'm here, I feel like I've done a good job of controlling the zone and swinging at strikes. I just keep hitting it right at people. So just little things here and there have been very helpful.
How hard was if somebody were to ask me the biggest transition in my baseball life, I would tell them from college to the pros. You know, in college you go from facing guys throwing 90 with really sliders aren't a thing. It was more like fastball, curveball in college, fastball, curveball, changeup. And then in pro ball, you got guys throwing 92-mile-an-hour sliders, and things change immediately. And I was always wondering when I would play high school guys or play with high school guys out of the draft, how how difficult was that transition for you? I mean, in high school, guys are throwing 80s tops, many of them, and don't have near what you see in pro ball. And 1 year removed, you're having success at every level you hit in professional baseball. How difficult or how easy was the transition for you?
Yeah, it was. I would say it was kind of difficult. I didn't have a great summer leading up to my senior year in high school. I kind of struggled, to be honest. And but being able to go out there and face quality arms, a lot of them are in the minor leagues right now, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool to see. But once I got to camp after I got drafted, we faced a lot of the machine and did some different things to kind of help my eyes adjust. Hit these foam balls that feel like they're coming at you at 150. But just really challenging myself off the field and in practice has been very helpful for me. And then whenever I got to low A last year, being able to control the zone and not swing at balls, and whenever I do get into hitters counts, being able to capitalize was very helpful.
How I need to hear the story of when you get called up to AAA. Story went kind of viral that you when you got to the hotel, you weren't allowed to have a room or they didn't give you a room. Tell me the hotel story when you first got called up to AAA.
Yeah, so me and my fiance drove from Bowie in the morning, and we got to one of the hotels, and it wasn't great. Wasn't really too safe. So we went online and found a pretty cool hotel, and yeah, we went to check in. We had everything situated, and they're like, "Can we see your ID?" And I'm like, "Sure." And they're like, "You can't check in if you're not, or you can check in, but you can't like get a room unless you're 21. So you can buy a room if you're not 21, but you can't check in, something like that."
What?
So yeah, it makes sense. So the guy was like, "Well, you're not old enough." And I'm like, "Well, can my mom check us in? Like, what do you got?" And he's like, "Well, is your mom close?" I'm like, "Well, she's in Oklahoma, so not really." And then, he's like, "What's you guys' situation?" I'm like, "Well, I just got called up to play baseball. I'm with the Orioles." And he's like, "All right, here's the room." So it was pretty funny. Kind of a really long day, but we're here now, and we're in an apartment in Virginia Beach, and it's all as well. It's really nice.
So just to clarify, you can buy the room, you can pay for the room, you
Hmm.
just can't check into the room.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? So it's all right. They were very very nice, and they hooked us up, so it was great.
What about for you, the pressure that comes along with being the number one prospect in baseball and number one draft pick? And Orioles are obviously very good right now, and there's still a lot of excitement about you and your debut when it ever does come. Is the pressure something that comes along with that for you? Do you feel it? Do you know how to deal with it? How have you been dealing with pressure of all that?
Yeah, I feel like I've done a pretty good job of just going out there and playing baseball. One of our buddies back home, just pressure is a privilege. That's what he told me. He was a national champion wrestler. His name's Zach. If he ever watches this, he'll probably be happy that I told you that. But yeah, just kind of going at it as pressure is a privilege. If you have pressure, you must be doing something right. So that's kind of how I've gone about it. Luckily, I'm in an organization with a bunch of really talented guys and a lot of guys that I get along with. So it makes it fun to be able to come out here and play. And I remember during spring training, I was in the locker room just looking around. I'm like, wow, that guy was the second overall pick. That guy was the fourth overall pick. So at the end of the day, you're just guys coming out here playing baseball. And once you're on the field, that kind of all goes away. And our goal is to be in the big leagues and not to be the number one prospect. At the end of the day, I'm trying to make it up to the big leagues as fast as possible and help the Orioles win championships and all the cool awards and stuff like that is just part of it.
You mentioned how talented people around you are, how talented guys in the big leagues are. How awesome is it that when the call does finally come for you, that you're going to be on a team that is going to be really good for a long, long time to come?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I guess like I said, like growing up in baseball and my dad being with the Cardinals, they're in the postseason every single year, and that's kind of all I know is postseason baseball and good teams. So I'm excited to be a part of such a great organization with a bunch of awesome talent and really great guys. So being able to go to big league spring training last year and be around Adley and Gunner and just seeing what they do off the field and how great of people that they are. And it makes me even more excited to be able to join the big league club whenever. And I'm very excited.
A lot of great talent there now. Adley and Gunner, you mentioned, had both of them on the show at one point this year, and legends in the organization as well. Cal Ripken Jr. had him on a couple months ago, and shortstop from the area, drafted high, ends up being the shortstop there for a long, long time to come. Do you have a relationship with Cal Ripken Jr. at all? Have you ever communicated with him?
I've never met him. No, he threw out the
It's got to
first pitch,
happen.
and I know it's got to happen, right? He threw out the first pitch in Aberdeen, but I think it was Veterans Night or something like that. So he was pretty busy, but it's really really cool to be able to be in the same organization as him and play the same position. He was an awesome player, and what he did playing so many games in a row is really crazy to think about.
I would have thought for sure. I mean, he owns that team in Aberdeen, and he's
Hmm.
throwing out the first pitch. It just seemed like a match. It just seemed like a connection that needed to
Maybe I
happen.
would have. I think we had like an hour and a half rain delay before the game, so our time got pushed back. So he was probably ready to leave at that point.
Yeah. Have you modeled your swing after anyone in particular?
Um, Not really, to be honest. Just kind of how it fell into place. But I mean, I really like Bo Bichette's swing. I like his approach of being able to kind of hit the ball over the field. I modeled my swing a little bit after him in high school. Kind of with the no stride with two strikes. I did
Yeah.
that quite a bit. But not really. I like guys like Corey Seager, who's a left-handed hitting
Yeah.
shortstop, and he's having an incredible year that I don't really feel like people are talking about enough. But not really. I like Christian Yelich. Kind of watched him a little bit, um, but just kind of how it fell into place. Just pick up my
Yeah.
leg and try to make it as simple as possible.
Will you sit down and analyze video? Are you a big video guy? Will you watch video of yourself? Will you watch video of other guys around the league?
Um, yeah, like 2 weeks ago, we have this app that you can watch everyone swing, and I didn't know about it until like 2 weeks ago. So I was just sitting in the hotel room, and my roommate Judd Fabian was like, "Hey, you can watch your swing on here if you want." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And so I went through there and watched some of my swings from the year, and I like to look at positive things. So whenever I'm going
Yeah.
good, to be able to look at that, and went back on there to see how hard my dad was hitting the ball, because they had some old videos of him on there, with the exit velo and stuff. I thought that stuff's always interesting to me, so I had some fun with that.
What about your bat flip game? You have to practice. Your bat flip game is elite. I feel like it's been practiced at some point.
I hit a lot of homers in high school, so
Yeah, you did.
I had some practice there. Fortunately, playing in Aberdeen and some of these away parks that have cost me a few times where I thought I hit a homer and it hit the wall. So I've kind of gotten away from it a little bit, because I don't hit a ton of homers. I hit it right next to the wall. So, um, but yeah, I hit quite a few homers in high school that I knew were going to be homers. So I had a little bit of practice there.
Your off-season goal of getting bigger and stronger and faster will help.
Yeah,
Will
hopefully,
help that out a
yeah.
little bit. Well, Jackson, what would you say your goals are? You've hit at every level you've been at, and that's pretty much every level this season. A ball up through AAA now. What goals do you have left for this season?
Yeah, I've got 9 triples right now, so I'm trying to get to 10 triples, 30 doubles. I don't know. I've got one more hit to 150 hits, I think. So just some small things. I know we're gonna make the playoffs, so that'd be cool to win the AAA, I guess, World Series. I don't even know what it's called. So that would be cool. But yeah, just keep playing good, helping the team win. That's what's most important. Going out there and scoring runs and playing good defense is always important. But yeah, I'd like to hit one more triple. I think 10 triples would be pretty cool.
What about beyond this year? You seem goal oriented. Do you have goals for yourself throughout your career?
Yeah, I think coming up in high school, I won 2 Gold Gloves in high school. I don't That doesn't really count, but it's kind of cool. They actually gave me like a real Gold Glove from Rollins. So I'd like to win a Gold Glove in the big leagues. I'd like to win a batting title. I think my dad won one, so that would be pretty cool. But yeah, just I want to have a great career. That's the goal, to be able to help the Orioles win World Series, and have a long career would be pretty neat.
A couple fun questions for you. Family orienting questions. First one, did your dad touch home plate in game 163?
I don't know. Called him safe, so I think that's all that matters. Every single time I go on Twitter or something and he's in a picture, he didn't touch home plate. So I think the Padres, they need to have a great season so people will forget about that. So it's a pretty funny topic, and honestly, I get asked a lot about it, but I really have no idea if he touched home plate. I was only like 4 years old, so.
Who's the better shortstop, you or your brother Ethan?
I'm gonna say me right now, but I think he'll probably end up at third base. He's way taller than me. He's like 6'4", and every time I see him, I feel like he gets taller. So he's probably a better third baseman than I am, without a doubt. But I'll take the shortstop on that one.
I know there's some really good players in the Orioles organization, including a guy that's going to be on the left side of the infield for a long time. But putting that aside, I mean, what a dream! A dream left side of the infield. You and your brother at some point in your career. How awesome would that be?
That would be really cool to be able to play with him again. We got to play with each other in high school. He was the third baseman, I was a shortstop, and I hit second. He hit third, and it was really really cool. Probably one of my favorite baseball memories, without a doubt. We went back to back twice, so that was really neat as well. I think I mean, shoot, he's already got more home runs in his high school career than I do, so he's really good.
Jackson, thanks so much for joining me, man. Big fan of yours. Good luck the rest of the way this year. I'll be locked in on the box score. I need a triple out of you now. All right.
Yeah, I know. Look for it. Hopefully tonight.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Thanks again to Jackson for joining me. What a really fun conversation. A great dude. He's got a big fan in me for the rest of his career. 19 years old, and clearly the work ethic is there. The drive to be the best is there, and it's just a really awesome conversation with him. And yeah, just hearing about his transition and what he had to improve on. I always love getting a little deeper into swing thoughts and hearing what he needed to improve on from high A to double A, and what he wants to work on in the offseason, what he needs to improve in his mind. And man, his goals of gold gloves, batting title, winning, that guy's going to be successful for a long, long time to come. So if you didn't know the name, 19-year-old Jackson Holliday, number one prospect in baseball. He's going to be a stud, and he is going to be in the big leagues very, very soon. So be on the lookout for him. But I hope you all enjoyed this. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever. We're also on all social media, including YouTube at Flippin Bats Pod for all of them. But that does it for this episode. Until next time, my friends,